Hi everybody, I am here today to do a musical review for The Lion King. It came to my area and I saw it last night with my family and my boyfriend. Today is its last day here, so we saw it on its second last day, and I'm actually wearing a Lion King shirt today. That's not from the show, but I decided to wear it today anyway. So, a little background on the musical The Lion King. It is written by Elton John and Tim Rice, who did the music and lyrics, and the book is by Roger Allers and Irene Mecchi. I think that's how you say it. And then there was additional music by Lebo M., Mark Mancina, Jay Rifkin, Julie Taymor, and Hans Zimmer. And they did music from the original film that was going to be in the original film, but it wasn't. It was on like a separate album, and they took a lot of the music from that for the musical. So, a lot of the music in the musical was not in the original film, but it was already written. So, some of the songs were originally written for the original film, but weren't in it. So, here is the playbill. My webcam's gonna flip everything around. But yeah, it was awesome. It is directed by Julie Taymor, and if you do not know who Julie Taymor is, she is a very renowned director of Broadway, and she's also directed the movie Across the Universe, which is the movie that brings Beatles songs into like a story. I love that movie, and I just love her work. She also designed the costumes and the masks for The Lion King as well. She is incredibly brilliant. She's the one who had the vision for the musical. She wanted to have the human seen at all times because she felt that this movie is a lot about human issues and humanity, and so she felt that she wanted the human to be visible at all times because there were a lot of questions of how this could have been adapted, and they didn't want it to be like Cats. They wanted it to, have its own thing. So she directed it with this vision of having the human exposed, and beautiful masks, beautiful costumes, brings all the elements to life, not just the animals, but the plants and the grass and everything. It's really cool, and I just love her work. She has a very unique style, and it's amazing what she did. She also wanted to make Rafiki a woman, which I actually agree with that, because in the musical, Rafiki's more of, the wise old woman, and I think a lot of times when we think of wise elders, we think of a woman, and there was a lot more emotion between Rafiki, Simba, and anyone else Rafiki interacted with. There was a lot more emotion between them, and I feel that because she was a woman, we had the more maternal, old grandmotherly like feel to it. So I really do agree with Julie Taymor's decision to make Rafiki a woman. So I did get a couple of souvenirs. I got this t-shirt. It'll be backwards, but yeah, it's awesome. It says LK, so Lion King NY, New York, Lion King, established 1997. It's still on Broadway today. And then I got a little stuffed Pumbaa. I couldn't decide between the Pumbaa and the Nala, but I really didn't like the look of the Nala, so I got the Pumbaa instead. So on to the show itself. I've been wanting to see it for years, and definitely did not disappoint. It exceeded all of my expectations. It was phenomenal. If I can choose one word to describe it, it would be phenomenal. It was just amazing. I can't even begin to describe how amazing it was. Just everything was just gorgeous. The costumes, the lighting, the scenery, the music, everything was just gorgeous. And Circle of Life had me crying because just of the beauty and how majestic it was. It was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I really wish that we were sitting on the orchestra floor because during Circle of Life and several other numbers, you have performers that go down the aisles. And I thought that would be awesome. I remember when the first animals that were coming down the aisle on Circle of Life, everybody just leaned forward and was looking at it, and everyone was just like in awe of it. But yeah, Circle of Life had me crying because it was just so gorgeous. And my rule of thumb is when I go to see a musical is it has to be a good musical if it makes me cry. And this one definitely made me cry. I was just so impressed with everything. One of the animals I think that impressed me the most was the giraffes. The giraffes were very interesting. So the giraffes were kind of like on stilts, but they had their feet were on stilts and then their hands were also on stilts. So they had to use their hands and their feet to operate these things. And the people, they're kind of hunched over in that position. And they have, these huge hats on that look like the giraffe's head. And I can't even begin to describe how much ab work you need and how much back strength and ab strength you need. It just looked really difficult. So I give props to whoever does the giraffes in that show because that has got to be hard. Especially being in that hunched over position and having to control these huge stilts with your hands and your feet. Wow, I just couldn't even imagine it. But yeah, it was so cool. That definitely impressed me. And then in Circle of Life, there's a huge elephant that is controlled by 4 people, one on each leg. It was huge. I can see why they only had it in Circle of Life because it was just so huge. It took up a lot of stage room. But yeah, the way Circle of Life was, just with all of the animals, and you got to see how the human is exposed in all of these animals at one time, and I think that's what makes it really, really majestic and really beautiful. So that's one reason why it had me crying because it was just so gorgeous, and seriously, it could have ended right there, and I would have been happy. But yeah, I was so impressed. I was also very interested in how they were going to do the stampede. They ended up doing it. It was kind of like in 3 layers. So the very back layer, it was kind of small, but they had like a projection of what looked like, wildebeest were coming down the mountain. And what they had these like big, like set pieces that were like this, and then there was one back here, and then there was one back there, and the one in the back was smaller so that they could project what looked like the wildebeests going then, and then the second one was bigger, and they had this mechanical thing that had wildebeest kind of looking like they were running, and then the third layer was the biggest, and it was the closest to downstage, and they had actual performers that were being the wildebeests up there, so that was really cool. And how they did with Simba, being on the tree, you could tell the kid was on wires, and he was like hanging onto like a tree branch that kind of like came out, and he was like holding onto that, and then he was dropped down at one point, and then the same with Mufasa and Scar, like the way that they were on these side set pieces, which I assume had like ladders attached to them. So Scar was like up on one the whole time, and then when it was Mufasa was like struggling to get up there, you could like one of the actors' hands was on the outside and one of his feet is, so he could look like he's struggling with that hand and foot, and then he was obviously using his other hand and foot to help support him going up that ladder. And then the way it had Scar push him off, he pushed off and he went back and he was on wires, and then he was dropped down as well. So yeah, the stampede was really cool. The fight between Simba and Scar was also really cool. That also involved wire work with Scar. Like when he was accidentally pushed off the cliff, he was on wires and he's drawn back and then brought down. It was really cool. Everything was just so cool. And the dancing and the movement. I loved just watching the dancers because the dancers, they were just amazing. They were incredible with how they moved and with what, like, ever role they took. Like, you have the lionesses looking like they're hunting, and they have, like, these drapes on their back, and they're, the head comes off, and so they can have it look like they're, getting lower to the ground, and oh my gosh, it was just so neat. Same with, even with the grasses of the savannah, even those were costumed, and that was really cool as well. So, yeah, everything was just gorgeous with the dancers. I actually didn't mind them being on stage just by themselves at one point, just dancing, because they were just so incredible to watch, just with the fluidity of their movements and everything. Oh my gosh, it was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And let's see, I'm not sure what my favorite song was. I've had the soundtrack on my iPhone for a long time because I've been wanting to see this forever. I'm not sure what my favorite song was after seeing the musical. Circle of Life was just majestic in how it was done. Absolutely beautiful. Same with the finale as well. That was also gorgeous. One of my favorite songs, though, is probably He Lives in You. I thought that it was going to be a little more over the top with how it was performed, but it wasn't. It was actually very simple, and I actually really did like that. It was still really awesome, and I just love that song because Rafiki sings more of it, and most of the time Rafiki is just doing like other noises. She's not, she's doing more like wails and, like noises with her tongue, like, and stuff like that. So I was really impressed with how that was done, and having like Rafiki sing more. It was really cool. And I really love Endless Night. That's gorgeous. And Shadowland is also really pretty. That's also done really nicely because Nala has the dancers with her on the stage. So that's really cool to see. Let's see. Oh my gosh, everything else is cool. Just Can't Wait to Be King was also really cool. It was colorful and with all the animals, and oh my gosh, it was just so fun. The hyenas were really cool as well. So that was really neat, and so was Be Prepared. The actor who played Scar, oh my gosh, he was fantastic. He was, like, so convincing. You could tell, like, he was so maniacal with how he performed Scar, and it was just incredible how he brought Scar to life, and his costume was really cool, too. Because the way his mask was, it was kind of like balanced on his head in a way that when he did this, the mask would kind of go down in front of his face. So it looked like when he was doing that, the lion's head was kind of like in your face, in the performer's face. And then when he would stand back up, it would go back to its position. So that was really cool, and he was just awesome. I also loved Zazu. Zazu was hilarious. He had an awesome costume as well. Obviously, Zazu is a puppet, but his movement artist is wearing this blue, like, this coat with, long tails and blue pants, and he's got, like, a blue bowler hat on, and he's got, like, blue and white face paint. Oh my gosh, his costume was awesome. It was really cool, and the actor who played him was also really, really great as well. Definitely brought all the comedic timing of Zazu to life, and one of the favorite things for the audience is when after Scar takes over as king and he has Zazu in that little cage, and Zazu is singing, "Nobody knows the trouble I've seen," and Scar says, "Sing something with a little bounce to it." In the movie, he sings "It's a Small World," but in the show last night, he sings "Let It Go," And oh my gosh, that just got a huge eruption of laughter from the audience. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. It was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I loved it. Um, Timon and Pumbaa were great as well. So they were awesome, just with how they performed off of each other. Um, they were great. A lot of the dialogue from it was from the original movie, because one of the book writers, did the script for the movie. Um, so they're obviously going to keep a lot of the dialogue the same, because people coming to see it know the cartoon, and they're going to expect things to be similar to the cartoon. So a lot of the dialogue is the same, but some of it is also different, which gives it its own appeal as well. Oh, Zazu also broke the fourth wall a lot. After Just Can't Wait to Be King, a curtain goes down, and it's got really cool like designs on it. And this is after like Simba and Nala ditch him, and so he's just out there like, and by that point the movement artist lost the actual puppet. The puppet was taken away, and so he's out there just by himself, and he's got like these things like on his hands. They were just kind of like streamers a little bit, only they're really short, kind of looking like grass. And he was like just out there like, this wasn't in the cartoon, and he went to the curtain and was like, is that a shower curtain from Tarjay? And he was just like, my bird, I'm coming back to you, my bird. And then he like runs to stage left, and he hits himself and then falls backwards. It's really funny. I have so many good things to say about it. Really, I don't have any negative things to say. It was just incredible. Definitely 5 out of 5 stars. Easy. I can see why it's the world's #1 musical now, because it earns like $1 million a week on Broadway alone, and so it's not going anywhere. It's been on for 18 years now, so it's going to be on Broadway for a long time. So I highly suggest this show. If it is ever on tour in your area, or if you live near New York City, I think it's also in West End in London. I also think there is a Toronto performance as well. And then it does U.S. national tour and worldwide tours as well. So I highly recommend going to see it. It is amazing. The tickets may be a little expensive, but I swear to you that it is worth it. It is just phenomenal. You will definitely not be disappointed. It was incredible. Like, I want to see it again. Yeah, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I really am sad that I haven't seen it earlier, but oh my gosh, it was incredible. Like, it was absolutely incredible. So if you do ever get the chance to see it, please do. So keep an eye out in your area to see if it is coming near you, and definitely jump on the chance to see it because it is amazing. You will definitely not be disappointed. It is incredible. So go and see it if you can. I highly urge you to go and see it. So that is my review of The Lion King. Of course, I have so many more things to say about it. It just can't be narrowed down. The kids were also very good. The kids who played Simba and Nala, they were adorable, and they were so great for being so young. They were so cute, and they were just adorable with the way they acted off of each other, and the way with Mufasa and Simba with each other. They were just adorable. So definitely go and see it if you can. It's worth it. It is definitely worth the money and your time. You will definitely walk out of there wanting to see it again, because I did. So thank you for listening to this 20-minute long review of The Lion King. I hope any of you go and get a chance to see it. Please do. You will definitely enjoy it. And that is all for now. Bye.